Hello everyone. In the previous class, we had started chapter 9 complex numbers and we have covered first part of the video which contains the imaginary number, complex number, graphical representation, properties, identities and conjugate. Now in the second part, we are going to cover the following points: modulus or absolute value, trigonometric or polar form, argument, amplitude. So let's get started with the first topic, modulus or absolute form. Modulus or absolute value. You need to remember the names, whether they can ask to find absolute value or they can ask you to find modulus. So both means the same. In general, short we call it mod. So mod z. Z is a complex number, a plus bi. Mod z will be mod of a plus bi. Now modulus is just the distance from the number to origin. So origin is 0, 0. So applying the distance formula, we will get a square plus b square. Distance formula, if you do not remember, distance between two coordinates, two ordered pairs, is difference between the x coordinates with whole square plus difference between the y coordinates whole square. So in this case, one ordered pair is a comma b and the other coordinate is 0 comma 0. So mod z is actually, modulus means the distance from the given point to the origin. So between both a minus 0 whole square and b minus 0 whole square. So if I need to find if z is given a point 2 minus 4i, I need to find mod z or absolute value of z. So in that case, I will do under root 2 square plus 4 square, or even if you take minus 4 square, there will be no change. So 4 and 16 under root 20. So root 20 is the absolute value of z, or we can say modulus of 12 z. Now suppose we have two complex numbers, z1 a plus bi, z2 c plus di. Convert into ordered pairs. There is a point a in the Argand diagram, a comma b, and a point b will be c comma d. Now if we plot both the points in the complex plane, imaginary axis and real axis, then we need to find AB, that is the difference between both the coordinates, again using the distance formula, and it will be mod z1 minus z2. So absolute value of z1 minus z2. This is a theorem. So let us try finding out AB, difference c minus a whole square plus d minus b whole square. This is LHS. Let us try RHS now. According to RHS, mod z1 minus z2 will be z1 minus z2 a minus c plus b minus di. This we have done yesterday, subtraction of two complex numbers. We subtract the real parts and imaginary parts. Now this is a complex number, real part, imaginary part. So the distance mod of this from the origin will be under root a minus c whole square plus b minus d whole square. This formula I have applied. Real part square plus imaginary part square, because when there is no other point, we are finding the distance of the point from the origin. So here also we have found the distance of the point from the origin. So real part whole square plus imaginary part whole square. Now you can see LHS and RHS are same. So in a complex plane, difference between any two points will be same as modulus of the difference of their complex numbers. Let us try some questions based on it. Find the modulus of the following complex number. The first one is 8 minus 6i power 7. Like I told you, if I is a multiple of 4 in the power, then it is going to be 1. So let's break it as I4 and left is I3. 4 plus 3 7. So I4 is clearly 1. So now I am left with I cube. In cube also I can break it as I square dot I. I square is minus 1. So minus 1 minus minus plus I. Now this is a proper complex number. We have to find the modulus. That means modulus of 8 plus 6i. So that is real part square plus imaginary part square. 64, 36, 100 equal to 10. Since this is a distance, so we are not going to take minus 10. Right. Let's try one more part. 2 plus 3i upon 3 plus 2i. Now whenever you see imaginary number in the denominator, we are supposed to rationalize the denominator. 3 minus 2i, 3 minus 2i. Multiply, general binomial multiplication, and here 3 square minus 2i whole square. So here I have multiplied the binomial also. So 6, these two are the like terms, so plus 5i, and I square is minus 1, which will turn as plus 6. So here 9 minus 4i square, which is 6 and 6 12 plus 5i, and in the denominator 9, I square is again minus 1, so 9 plus 4. So 12 plus 5i upon 13. Let us break this out. 12 upon 13 plus 5 upon 13i. Now proper complex number as a plus bi. Real part, imaginary part. So to find the mod of this number 5 by 13i, it will be under root square of 12 and 13, so 144 upon 169 plus square of imaginary part 25 upon 169, which is 169 upon 169. So under root 1 is 1. Again I am not taking minus 1 because this is actually the distance of a point from origin, and distance cannot be negative. Next point, collinear points. Suppose PQR are 3 points, complex numbers. We can always convert them into ordered pairs. So 3 points PQR, to prove them that they are collinear or not, we need to prove this. Distance of PQ, distance of QR added together should give us the distance between the 2 points P and R, and all the distance we can find using distance formula. Let's try finding PQ. 2 minus 1, 1 square, and 7 minus 4, 3 square. So 1 plus 9 under root 10. QR, distance of these two. Again distance formula, 3 minus 2, 1 square, plus 10 minus 7, 3 square. Again 1 plus 9 under root 10. Distance of P and R. So 3 minus 1, 2 square, 10 minus 4, 6 square. So 4 and 36, which will be under root 40, which is equals to 2 under root 10. So PQ plus PR, the sum of these two will be also 2 root 10. This is also 2 root 10. So PQR are collinear points. So only you need to remember this. The distance between PQ and QR should be equal to PR. Now next we have properties of modulus. Mod Z. That means the distance of z complex number from origin is 0, implies the complex number itself has to be 0. And when the complex number will be 0, it only happens when real part and imaginary part both are 0. Let's try the other way. If real and imaginary parts are 0, only then the distance or modulus will be 0. So it is both ways. Or I can also say if and only if. That means the condition is true from left to right and right to left both. Next, z into z conjugate. This is conjugate we did in yesterday's video. If say z is 2 plus 3i, so z conjugate will be, imaginary part sign will change, 2 minus 3i. Multiple of these two, z into z bar. Normal multiplication of two binomials will be same as the square of this. So let's check this out first. Square of 2 and then square of 3 with whole square, because this thing was of mod z. Mod z square means square of this. So this is 4 plus 9. So I should remove root actually, 13. And when I solve this is a plus b, a minus b. So 4 minus 9i square, which is also 4 plus 9, because I square is minus 1, 13. So you need to remember the properties. You can always prove it with a and b, a plus bi, c plus di symbols, or you can always prove with numbers also. Next is mod z is equals to conjugate of mod, right? In this, let us take the previous example only, 2 plus 3i and 2 minus 3i. The conjugate of z is 2 minus 3i. So both distances will be same, because ultimately we are going to square up. So here square of 2 and square of 3 added. Here square of 2 and square of minus 3. So minus 3 whole square will also be 9. So this is true. Same way, real value, individual real value will always lie between minus mod z and plus mod z. Same way, this also lies from minus to plus. Then z inverse. If z is 2 plus 3i, z inverse will be 1 upon z, which is 1 upon 2 plus 3i, which needs to be rationalized. Okay, so when you solve this and convert and solve this separately, z conjugate divided by this. Next, in multiplication you can always break. z1 z2 mod will be same as mod z1 into mod z2. So likewise, for the number of complex numbers multiplied together, the number of mods can be multiplied. Same for division. Mod of the division will be same as mod divided by another mod. Now, will this happen in addition and subtraction also? Let's see. Addition of two complex numbers and the separate addition of their mods. They are not equal. This is less than. This is also known as triangle inequality. And in case of division, this side is greater than equal to, but not with only this, one more mod is there. So let's try proving first one, second one. Let z1 be a plus bi, z2 be c plus di. So z1 minus z2 will be LHS. a minus c plus b minus d I, and to find out the mod it is a minus c whole square plus b minus d whole square. Now let's see RHS. Mod of z1 will be under root a square plus b square, mod of z1. Then mod of z2 under root c square plus d square. Now the mod of the difference of mod z1 minus mod z2. So this minus this d square. Further mod means further mod is applicable here. So by applying the mod, we can easily say that left hand side is greater than right hand side. Same way, I want you to prove triangle inequality. Proofs of all the properties are given in the book, and just you have to substitute the values of z1 and z2 everywhere like we have substituted here. You can take the numbers or you can take a plus bi, c plus di in all the examples that I have taken. You can always prove it with them. Now before we proceed to the next topic, let us first solve a question of modulus properties. Z is given 6 plus 8i. Let us find mod z, and z conjugate will be 6 minus 8i. Mod z will be square of real part plus square of imaginary part. So 36 plus 64, 100, so 10. Now it is saying mod z 10 on left hand side, and right hand side mod of conjugate, that means mod of this, again square of real part minus plus square of imaginary part. Now no change, minus 8 whole square is again 36 plus 64. So after solving 10, so both are same, LHS RHS same. First part done. Second part, real part of z is 6 minus of mod z minus 10 to plus 10. True? Correct. Then imaginary part is 8. It is also lying. Minus of mod z is minus 10 and positive is plus 10. This is also true. Now D. Z inverse 1 upon z, 1 upon 6 plus 8i into 6 minus 8i on 6 minus 8i. So 6 minus 8i upon 6 square minus 8i square. 6 minus 8i will be 36 plus 64. 6 minus 8i upon 100. Plus means I square is minus 1, so plus. Now we need to find this z bar. Z conjugate is 6 minus 8i, and mod z was 10, whole square will be 100. So is it same? RHS and LHS. Hence proved all the parts. Next topic, trigonometric or polar form of a complex number. Let us suppose take a complex number z, 3 plus 4i, its coordinates 3 and 4. So 3 on the real axis and 4 on imaginary axis. Plotted, then 3 real part and 4 imaginary part. So the line OP or OZ, I can say if Z is the point, OZ is forming angle theta with the real axis. Theta will always be checked from real axis or positive x axis, right? So this is theta r. According to Pythagoras theorem, it is 4 square plus 3 square, 16 plus 9, 25, so r is 5. Now randomly, if I could have taken a plus bi, the coordinates would have been a comma b. So that means in this case a is here and b is here. This side is b and this whole side is a. So r according to the formula will be a square plus b square. Also, if you remember, sin cos tan sin cos tan. So if I use the ratio of sin, it will be sin theta will be p upon h. According to this, p will be b and h is r. So value of b is r sin theta is equal to b. Same way, if I use the second ratio, cos theta, base is a and hypotenuse is r. So r cos theta is the value of a. So trigonometric form will be, if z is a plus bi, the trigonometric form will be, in the place of a, I am substituting the value r cos theta. In place of b, r sin theta into I, imaginary number. So the trigonometric form is, so when z is a plus bi standard form, its trigonometric or polar representation will be r cos theta plus I sin theta. I have taken r common, and where r is under root a square plus b square, which is actually mod z. And according to diagram also, you can see r is actually the distance of origin to the point z, which is a plus bi with the coordinates a and b. Using trigonometry, we have found the distance r, which will ultimately going to be same as mod z, because mod z, modulus of z, is also the distance of origin to the complex number. So these are the things that you need to remember: the standard form, trigonometric form, what is r here, and from the same diagram, tan theta is b by a. See, tan theta, the ratio of tan, p upon b, so b by a. From here we can find the value of theta also. Tan will go here, this will be tan inverse b by a, or I can straight away say tan inverse b is imaginary part of complex number and a is real part of complex number. So theta we can find out from tangent theta. Here r is the radius vector. Okay, next and last topic is argument or amplitude. In short, we call it arg for argument of z complex number, or amplitude short form is am. Both are same alternative names and they are basically theta. So for any z, a and b, if the point is lying in the first quadrant, that is both real and imaginary parts are positive, so the point will lie here. So OP, the angle which the point makes with x-axis, positive, real axis, anti-clockwise, is known as theta or argument or amplitude z, right? Suppose if the point P is in second quadrant, so this will be theta, anti-clockwise and with the positive real axis. Now in the next two cases, when the point P lies in the third quadrant, then this will be the theta, positive x-axis and OP, anti-clockwise. And in the fourth case, fourth quadrant, again positive x-axis and the line, the angle formed. All these thetas are argument or amplitude z. Now how to calculate it? See, in the first case we will take direct theta. In the second case, let this leftover angle be alpha. So now this whole line is 180. 180 is actually 2 pi. So since 180 is pi, so this whole 180, that is pi minus this small part, will be the measurement of actual theta. So first we will find alpha, and then using that alpha we will find the value of theta, that is the amplitude or argument. In the third case, this case, again this small angle will be alpha, and now here this will be pi minus alpha negative, because the positive part was this when the point is in second quadrant. This was pi minus alpha, so exact opposite of this, it was minus pi by pi minus alpha. Okay, and this was theta, so this will be minus of alpha. So ultimately first we need to find alpha for that. Now how to find these angles? Let's see with the help of an example. Formula of calculating alpha is tan inverse b by a, like we have just did in the trigonometric form. Tan inverse b imaginary part, a real part. So alpha will be tan inverse imaginary part upon real part. So tan inverse, in the table of tan, when is root 3, it is tan 60. And in terms of pi, it is tan 180 by 3. So pi by 3. Pi denotes 180 here. Make a note somewhere. Pi is 180. So pi by 3. 180 by 3 is 60. So tan inverse and tan we can cancel. So alpha you have got pi by 3. So theta is also pi by 3, which is argument of z. How theta is exact pi by 3 as same as alpha? Because see this, both points are positive, so it will lie in first quadrant, and first quadrant theta and alpha both are same. Agree? Now let's try next part. First we will see this is minus 4 comma 4, so this will lie in second quadrant. So according to second quadrant, after finding alpha we need to do pi minus alpha. So let us find alpha first. Alpha will be tan inverse imaginary part upon real part with a mod, not a bracket. This is a mod, modulus. Modulus means anything which comes out of the mod will always be positive. So tan inverse, 4 and 4 cancel, and since we have mod, so there is no value of minus, so we have this, or I can write it tan pi by 3. So again alpha we are getting pi by 3, but argument this time will be pi minus alpha. So pi minus pi by 3 will be 2 pi by 3, which is the argument z, theta. Alright, so alpha we can find using the formula tan inverse b by a, and then it depends on which quadrant it is lying. That will tell us the value of argument, right? So the best way to remember is, remember this formula of alpha, tan inverse b by a. Then in the first quadrant theta and alpha will be same. In the second quadrant theta will be pi minus alpha. So first calculate alpha, then solve. In the third quadrant, theta will be minus of pi minus alpha. And in the fourth quadrant, theta will be equal to minus alpha, where theta is argument of z. So whenever for any type of question, for example, if they say find out the argument of this complex number, find argument of z, or even if they say find out theta or amplitude of z, so first minus minus, so it will lie in third quadrant, so immediately it should strike that the argument will be minus pi minus alpha. So let us find alpha. 10 inverse b means minus 2, this is again mod, so minus 2 root 3, so minus 2 cancel, 1 upon root 3, and 1 upon root 3 is when tan is 30, and 30 will be pi by 6, 180 by 6. So your alpha is pi by 6. Substitute here minus pi by 6. So it will be 5 pi by 6. So your answer is minus 5 pi by 6, the argument of z. So I hope this point is clear to you. Also some properties of amplitude. Amplitude of the multiple of two complex numbers will be amplitude of first plus amplitude of second. Same for division, amplitude of first minus amplitude of second. Now let us solve this last question. Find mod and amplitude both. Modulus, if you remember, distance of the point from the origin. So mod, let this be z. So mod z will be under root real part square plus imaginary part square. So 1 by 4 plus 3 by 4. 4 by 4 is under root 1, which is equals to 1. Amplitude. For amplitude, I need to check theta. For that, minus plus. Minus plus. Which quadrant? Second. In second quadrant, we have theta equals to pi minus alpha. So first task is to find alpha. 10 inverse b by a minus 1 by 2. Remember, whenever these are not just brackets, this is the sign of mod. So alpha is 10 inverse mod b by a, right? This mod means if b and a, if any one or both of them are having negative values, that negative sign can be ignored. So that is why I am ignoring this negative sign, because of this mod. So negative gone, root 3 by 2 into 2 by 1.